Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Christie.
All students riding buses 15 and 2 are released for dismissal. Buses 15 and 2.
And tonight's homework is 3-12, measuring centimeters and millimeters. So in case you forgot to bring your ruler home, there's a ruler right here. So you just cut on the dotted line, and you can just fold it on this line, do the best you can. You don't have to actually fold it if you don't want to, but. So these are centimeters, and these are millimeters. And remember, there are 10 millimeters for every 1 centimeter. So, find 6 objects in your home to measure. Use the ruler from the bottom of the page to measure them. First in centimeters, then in millimeters. Record your objects and their measurements. Okay, so I went around the classroom and grabbed some objects. Some of you were here when I did that. So the first thing I found was a glue stick. So here's the glue stick. So I'm going to measure the glue stick. And actually, you don't really even need to cut out your ruler. If your object is small enough, you can just hold it on it. So that's what I'm going to do. So starting at 0, remember we talked about you have to start at 0. And there's my mark right there. So it is 85, 86, 87 millimeters. 87 millimeters glue stick. So if it's 87 millimeters, remember we talked about if you're converting from millimeters to centimeters, you are dividing by 10, so you are moving your decimal one place to the left. So it's going to be 8 7/10 of a centimeter. Okay, so there's the glue stick. The next object that I'm going to measure is this clip that we use for our jobs. So I'm going to put it here, and this is actually almost the same exact size as the glue stick. It is actually just 1 millimeter smaller, so it is 86 millimeters for the clip, and that makes it 8 6/10 of a centimeter. So the next object I'm going to measure is this really cool fish fidget thing that Miss Daniels made for me from using the 3D printer. So
all students riding bus 9 are released for dismissal. Bus 9.
If I measure this, it measures to exactly 9 centimeters or 90 millimeters, because when we're converting from centimeters to millimeters, we multiply by 10 or we move our decimal, our visible decimal one place to the right to make it 90. We'll call this, I don't know, I'm just going to call it a fish. The next thing I'm going to measure is this piece of chalk. Chalk. So putting it on the 0. Wow, all these objects are just about the same. I'm just realizing that. So this is 87 millimeters or 8.7, same size as a glue stick. And I'm going to measure this egg timer. Timer we use in our calming corner. 82 millimeters, 8 2/10 of a centimeter. And the last thing I'm going to measure, excuse me, is the spray that I got as a present for one of my students. Oh, wow. And this is actually 15 centimeters. Excuse me. Which makes it 150 millimeters. There we go. You can choose whatever items you have in your house. Try to make them smaller than this, but. So now we're going to fill in the tables. We're going to convert from centimeters to millimeters. So remember we talked about how there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So when we're converting from centimeters to millimeters, we're multiplying by 10. So we're moving our invisible decimal over one place and then adding a 0 to make up that place. So 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. You could also use this. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. 15 centimeters equals 150. 3 and 7/10 is 37 millimeters. 49 and 6/10 is 496 millimeters. And 8/10 of a centimeter is 8 millimeters. So now we're going from meters to centimeters. So remember, there's 100 centimeters in a meter. So if we're going from meters to centimeters, we're multiplying by 100. So we're moving our invisible decimal point 2 places to the right. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. When we're going from centimeters to meters, we're dividing by 100. So we're moving our invisible decimal 2 places to the left. So that makes this 1 8/10. So 23 and 6/10. Move it over 2 places, 2,360 centimeters. 572. And 65. Okay, list the factors for 63. So, I'm going to make our little T-chart. So the first ones we're going to put are 1 and 63. Does 2 go into 63? No, because 63 is an odd number. 2 does not go into odd numbers. Does 3 go into 63? Yes, it does. How many times? Well, 3 goes into 60 20 times, and 3 goes into 3 1 time, so it's going to be 21. Does 4 go into 63? Nope. How about 5? Nope, because the 1's place is not a 0 or a 5. Does 6 go into 63? No, it doesn't, because it's not even. How about 7? Does 7 go into 63? Yes, it does. 7 times 9 is 63. Does 8 go into 63? No. And now we know we're done, because the next number is 9, and we already have it. So our factors of 63 are 1, 3, 7, 9, 21, and 63. Okay, write the factor pairs for 60. Again, the first one we always put is 1 and 60. Is 60 even? Yes, because it ends in a 0. So that will be 2 times 30. Does 3 go into 60? Yes. 3 times 20. Does 4 go into 60? Yes. We remember that from our number line. How many times? Well, 4 goes into 40 10 times. Goes into 25 times, so that would be 15. Because 10 plus 5 is 15. 5 and 12 and 6 and 10. And that's it. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and see you on Monday.